All right, it is now time for NXT, and we have a interesting NXT here. It doesn't really have a lot in it. Let's make this very clear. The build to going into Battleground, it needs more time to cook because we do not have a lot here yet. But I will say certain things were put into motion that I am very interested in seeing. Now, let's go through the matches. Only four. First one, for the North American Championship, Lexis King versus a Ricky Saints. Now, this was set up from last week, especially now that when it comes to Lexis King, he's no longer the Heritage Cup champion anymore. And I will talk about Metaphor and the breakup of that in a minute. But when you see this match, for me personally, guys, when I look at this match, I'm like, it's nothing there. And that's a major problem when it comes to Ricky Saints. Look, Ricky Starks, that's my boy. I knew he was good back in NWA when he had the television championship. I knew he had the talent to talk. He had a good look, and he was a decent to good wrestler in the ring, which he has improved over the years, and he's gotten even more better than he was when I first saw him. He had already been in the business more than a few years easily. But by the time he reached AEW, he was very well polished in the ring. Of course, he's had his mistakes where literally he did a backflip and whacked his head. Of course, that's happened. But in general, he has been very good in the ring, outside the ring, promos. All of it has been on a good level, easily nearing top tier for me personally. But as I said before, I am not feeling this. This was rushed. I don't care who you are. To see Ricky Saints have the North American Championship within a few weeks after he appears in NXT was stupid because there's no story with him. No build, no character. Yes, we know who Ricky Starks is. But as I've stated over and nauseum, this is not about what the other company or companies did with him when he wasn't in WWE. It is what WWE does with him. And they threw the North American title on him too soon. Makes my nose itch. This was wrong. This was wrong. You may like the run he's on, but tell me, what has he done after doing a Ethan Page? What? I don't know. You know why? Because he has not been on the roster long enough to feel important yet. He's barely had a month of build since he joined the company. And then he going through this, and it feels empty. He deserves better. That is me. He did a good job facing off against Alexis King, who no longer has a Heritage Cup. It's fine. But they better give him something. They better give him someone. Because if he's just going to do matches and he's just going to appear and sometimes talk, that's just a cop-out for me personally, because he deserves better than that. Now, let me go for the non-title match of Soruka versus Carmen Petrovic, with not only a Zarya out there who's looking at that damn title, but also, let's make it very clear, was Shanti Adonis really interesting when he was with Petrovic? Not really. It was an added little thing for Petrovic. And it did give something to Shanti Adonis. But let's be honest. Shanti Adonis, honestly, he should leave the company. Ashanti Adonis should leave the damn company, because what are they doing with him? Honestly, what are you seeing Shanti Adonis do at this point? What? Yeah, he worked with Carmen Petrovic. Carmen had a shot to try and become a number one contender, possibly in the future, going against Soruka. But she lost. And you can see that Shanti Adonis is trying to talk to her, saying, look, we can make this work. We'll figure another way out. Look, you need to listen. And he gets kicked in the head for his trouble. So what does that mean? Easily, Shanti and Petrovic look like they may be done. And to be honest, I'm actually happy about that. But I'm not going to lie. Do I want Ashanti Adonis in the company? No, I want him to leave. I think he'll stand a better chance going to TNA or AEW. Yes, AEW. I know I'm saying that because there hasn't been really great build for a lot of their people, and they make them just do major matches, which they should be built into major matches, but they're just supposedly major dream matches, which we want more of story. Now, I'm making it clear. Yes, I'm saying this about AEW, but I still love it, and I still do believe they can make it better. But I gotta say the truth. But then let Shanti go to NXT. And then, he is in NXT. Let me give it to you like this. Ashanti should just leave and do an Indy Hartwell. Just leave, go to TNA, stay there for a while, and then work MLW, because look at what's going on with, not MLW, reality wrestling. Because you see, reality wrestling is working with TNA. So let him work in TNA, then let him go to reality wrestling. I think he might even be able to do something in Major League Wrestling, even if it's not really something you normally would talk about. Who knows? I just want to see something for Shanti Adonis. Petrovic, I like Petrovic. She does have skill, at least looking good as a wrestler / MMA fighter or martial artist. But the question is, will they do anything with it? Moving on. Let me give you like this. Did I like the tag match between the champs, Hank and Tank, versus a Yamura and Briggs? Yes. It was a good match. I did like it. I think it was the best match on the show. Not taking anything away from the next tag match, but it was the best match of the show. It was done exceptionally well, the match. And I will say that I'm very interested in seeing what's going to happen with Yamura, and what's going to happen with Briggs. Because as far as they say, he's going back to Pro Wrestling Noah. And now they can't get the titles now. What are they going to do with him before he leaves? Are they going to have Briggs knock his head off? Because he failed, because Briggs is still... He's going to think that this is all on him. I don't know. But they will do something with Itamura. Something that's going to be dramatic, that'll make it easier for him when he leaves to go back to Pro Wrestling Noah. It'll feel that he got taken out, and now he can have a fresh start there because of what he's going here. That's how it feels. Next, Julia and Roxanne versus Jordynne Grace and Io Sky. Now, the reason Io's with Jordynne Grace is because when she showed up at NXT and talked to Ava, she needed a partner. She couldn't find one, but Jordynne said, look, let me work with you because this will give me another step closer to the NXT Championship. And she said, all right, fine. And we get this match. This easily was the second best match of the night. It was. Do I believe? Well, here's the thing. Am I feeling Julia as a heel? Yes. Compared to what she was doing before as a face, where there was no build. Let's make this clear. Julia had no build. Nothing. Just like... look. I'm not against Stephanie Vaquer. I am not against Julia, but I said it 100%. Neither one of these women feel built at all, having any character. And going by what they went outside means nothing, as I've stated ad nauseum. It's not about what they brought in. It's about what they'll do with what they brought in. And as it stands, they've done nothing but do matches. They never really had any major story. And putting them up against each other because they had past history, it's not like everyone saw that past history. They needed more and they didn't get it. Like I said, Zarya now has more story with Soruka looking at the damn title like, oh, damn, I want this title. But then now she's still defending her friend. And now when you see what happened with Kiani Jordan, she wants a shot at that title, saying Soruka is not even defending it every time, just like me. And now Zarya is saying, you want against her? You got to prove that you deserve it. Go against me. Now next week we're going to have that match between them, which could lead, slowly but surely, a Saruka versus Zarya match, which honestly I could get behind because they spent the time to build up Zarya as Saruka's friend. I can buy it because they actually built her. But unlike Stephanie and Julia, I feel nothing. But now that Julia is a heel, at least she is beginning to have something. And I'm kind of confused. You guys tell me below. Is Roxanne on NXT or is Roxanne supposed to be on the main card? And they said it on Raw. Roxanne's supposed to be in NXT. But seeing Roxanne here, it's like she should not be here. Alright, let's move on. First thing, I did say this earlier, metaphor. We get Mensa, we get the Olindar, so Nolindar. We get the Meta Girls. All of them together, happy, together, give each other a hug. You see Mensa giving Dar a kiss on the head. And they're all happy, but it's Lash who says what I thought sooner or later had to happen. The metaphor must end. And she said it very clear. Look, you've been gone for a while. Me and Akara, we've been doing good. Mensa's on Speed. He's doing great. Or is it Evolve? Either, I think he's on Evolve or on Speed. I don't remember which show he's on. I think he's on Evolve. But she made it very clear. We all love being together, but we need to move on. And she tells Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, it's your time, girl. You need to do something. It is your time. So finally, that Dar is back. He's with the Heritage Cup. But Mensa is going to go, I believe, to Evolve. You're going to see a Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, going to be on NXT. And then the big question, will Lash Legend finally move to the main roster, which I think she could pull that off. Now, mind you, I'm saying it right now. You guys know how I feel. When it came to Lash, I wasn't feeling her character. When it came to Lyra Valkyria, definitely wasn't feeling the character. And when it comes to Lyra, I still don't feel her character. I still don't. And you don't see her do her original character with the wings as a witch. But the thing is, a sorceress, not a witch. But when it comes to Lash Legends as the Bougie Bully, I can believe that because she developed herself enough that I can believe that the character she's developed so far could work on the main roster. Doesn't mean it'll be perfect. Hell no. She's still a bit green, but she can talk well. She can move in the ring pretty well. She does pretty good power moves. And let's be honest, she is thick. Everybody loves a thick woman. But she knows how to use that thickness to whoop someone's ass. If they're ready to move into the main roster, I could actually buy it. It's going to be rough because I don't think she's going to be doing great at first, but I could buy it. That's just me. Next. And here's where it gets interesting. Chase U. Why? Why are we getting Chase U back together? I do not understand. Yes, the guys that are there who convinced Andre Chase to come back, unless it's someone coming in that's going to be important to go through Chase U, I just do not see the reason to have Chase U back. I just don't. Andre Chase could have done something else. That's how I feel. Now, mind you, is it a bad thing to see Chase U back if there's someone new they're going to bring in? Other than, I keep forgetting those two guys' names. But if there's someone new they're going to bring in to Chase U that they're going to use Chase U to build up, fine. But there better be somebody else other than the two that's with Andre Chase, because I keep forgetting their names. You guys are going to tell me below who they are, but they were never that important. This was about trying to rebuild Andre Chase and bring back Chase U. If they're bringing back Chase U to bring in new guys or new girls, that would be developed through there, just like when it came to Ridge Holland, when it came to Duke Hudson, when it came to Thea Hale, I'm fine with. But they better bring someone in. Because honestly, Chase U should have never came back. Next. Let's let's get this done when it comes to Joe Henry and Trick Willie. Did I like seeing Joe Henry open the show? Of course I did. Talking about what happened at Rebellion and then getting the trick shot. He didn't say it directly about that, but it pretty much is implied. He got trick shot to the face. And he was not happy about what happened. And now he's pissed. The question's going to be, what are they going to do with Joe Henry dealing with Trick Williams? Now, Trick did come out later. Trick Williams now called Hollywood Trick due to the fact that he will be on, what is it, All-American on the CW. He's going to be doing something there. Fine. I'm glad to see he's branching out and WWE is not stopping. It's good to have a very broad portfolio of being able to do pro wrestling, can do some acting. He did bring up The Rock. He brought up John Cena. He did sound pretty decently smooth while he's trying to do his craft. And I'm all right with that. But now knowing that Ava's setting up a 25-man battle royal next week, and the one who wins that gets a shot at... Let me give it to you like this. Do I believe Trick Williams is going to win a battleground against Uber Femi? No. Do I believe that Trick Williams is going to lose and probably is going to have a feud with Joe Henry? That I do believe. Now, that could be foreshadowing. I might be spoiling something. But it looks like it to me personally. And to be honest, I don't really have a problem with it. Trick Williams right now needs a little bit more of what he's got. He does look like he could be Hollywood. But he needs one more thing. He needs a little more broad of a brush when it comes to working in WWE. And him going over to TNA for at least a couple of tapings, doing some tapings over there, doing some matches over there, actually I think would really be very beneficial for him. Honestly, that's what I feel. I really feel he will gain something working in NXT. And then gain something working in TNA. And then from that, going back to TNA, to NXT, then to the main roster, I truly will believe he will have something more than what Carmelo Hayes did. Because let's make it very clear. I knew Carmelo Hayes was eventually going to go to the main roster. And now he's working with The Miz. Do I believe he's doing good work? He's okay. Doing better than what he was before. But seeing that Trick Williams has been champion, has worked with the champion, has now worked also with another champion, another promotion, doing some work on a TV show, yeah, it's not going to be a really big part, but it's going to be something. And then he's working the other promotion, maybe at least 1 or 2 tapings, and you never know, he may actually go to Under Siege. If he does this with maybe Uber Femi, loses because of Joe Henry, then goes to Under Siege, I could see a good built feud through that going back and forth between NXT and TNA. That's what I think. Finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about, Family Feud has started. It's now begun between D'Angelo and Stax. It had to happen. This was a long time coming. I knew eventually Stax had to break off on his own and eventually feud with a Tony D. And he made it very clear in his segment when he came to the ring with his boys. I've known Stax for a long time. I've always had Stax's side. I've always been there for him. If ever he got in trouble, I was always there for him. Every single time when he got his ass in trouble, going up against someone bigger than himself, I was always there to help him. But also, he was there for me when I couldn't be there, when I was thrown in jail. Remember about that one, when Gallus boys did that, and Stax tried to back him up, and then Legado del Fantasma, and then when it comes to the culling, and then Dark State, he's been there for him. But now, he's gone outside of what he's doing. And I told him, I'm the one who is the Don of the family. I'm the one who runs it. You need to know your place. And then Stax sends security out, and Stax is at a bridge. They always go to a bridge. And he makes it very clear, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm going to tell you that you've grown soft. You're not doing the way you're supposed to do it. We're supposed to make sure that when it's time to show someone who's fucking with us, sorry for the curse, we let them have it. But now you're doing decisions that make no sense. And with these decisions, you feel alone. Guess what? I know you're scared and you're alone. I'm not there as your underboss. Crucifino's not there. Of course, we know Crucifino's been left in the desert. And Rizzo is in hiding. I know you don't know who to trust. And all his boys, he looked at them and pretty much he's going, what? And they're going, no, we're not doing anything. And a few minutes later, we got security attacking him. And he tries to flip one of them over. I think he almost broke his neck. It was so, didn't look good. But the Don made it very clear. Stacks, if you want this spot, you want my job, my position, you better get your ass over here and face me. So that means by Battleground, we are going to have a fight between the Don and the underboss, or former underboss. And I'm actually looking very forward to this. This is one of the few feuds that NXT has that has been very well built from the ground up as to be a family. This is one of the things Shawn Michaels did very well. When it came to Don, they christened him, gave him Stacks, and they put people in front of them together to always have to try and win and succeed together. But now it's reached the point where they're about to split, that the Don hasn't been winning very well and been making bad decisions, and the underboss, who's always been the underboss, always been who he is, he can be a damn hothead, but he's always gotten the job done, has reached the point where he says, I'm sick and tired of this. I've always been in your corner. I've busted my ass for you, and you're not doing the way you used to do it. Why am I going to be following you anymore? I don't want to follow you anymore. And he doesn't hide that he can be an ass. He's saying what he's always been saying. But now, with this, we get to see two brothers who grown up together. I mean, they're not really brothers, but you know what I mean. They're here. The question's going to be, how are they going to do this? How are they going to build this to when the match finally happens, that they're going to make sure that Stacks is put over properly and the Don is still going to keep the prestige of being the Don? I don't know. And I'm curious about it. But this is just me, and I hope you enjoy this NXT review. Please give me a comment below. I know you're going to give me a comment. Nothing wrong with it. I'll be waiting for it. Peace.